Hi guys, welcome to our channel, The BaeSlay Way. So today's company is Deloitte, and we got in a lot of requests from you all to cover the risk and advisory profile. So today we have that, and we also have another analyst profile that we'll be talking about in the video. Also, both our guests are from MIT AOE, which as you requested. So hope you all like the video. Do stay tuned till the end, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like the video, and hit the bell icon to receive post notifications instantly. Also, if you're interested to feature on our placement interview experience segment, fill up the Google form that will be attached in the description box below, and we'll contact you. Apart from that, we also have our Telegram channel, which you can join to get all the updates regarding our channel. And now let's move on to the recruitment process.
Coming to the recruitment process of Deloitte, they are offering two job profiles. First is analyst in consulting and technical analyst in risk and advisory. The minimum eligibility criteria is SSC, HSC, and diploma is 60% and above. Engineering 6.5 CGPA and above, and no live backlog is allowed. CTC that they are offering is 7.6 LPA. Now coming to the recruitment process, if the person has opted for analyst consulting, then he will only receive 3 sections. That is verbal, quant, and logical. And if the person has opted for technical analyst, then he will get additional 4 sections, including SQL, Java, HTML, computer programming. All the questions and the time duration is noted here. Coming to the interview rounds, after aptitude test, there is nothing jam round or anything. There is direct interview. And once you qualify the interview, you get selected in Deloitte. So we will be discussing the process in very much detail with our guest today. Both have aimed Deloitte as their dream company from very beginning.
So hi guys, today we have with us Samiksha and Prabhat, who have cracked the on-campus recruitment process for Deloitte. So Samiksha has a job profile of consulting analyst, and Prabhat has a job profile of risk and advisory technical analyst. So welcome to our channel, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here.
So before we move on, I would request you to give a quick introduction first.
Prabhat, you go first.
Yeah, sure. So hello guys, hope you are all having a great day. So my name is Prabhat, and I belong from the College of MIT Academy of Engineering from Pune. And so yeah, basically Deloitte came to our college a couple of months ago, and usually they had their typical placement process. And I had been preparing for the company from a long time, from the start of the summer days itself. And at the end, the entire process continued. I got through all the rounds and got placed in the company. So yeah, really glad to be here. And like I've been watching both of them taking interviews for a long time. Like the last Deloitte interview they took was, I guess, 7 months ago. So I did watch it, and uske baad hi maine Deloitte ka diya tha interview. So really thankful to these guys as well.
Thank you so much.
So I'm Samiksha Murade from MIT Academy of Engineering, same college. I'm from Information Technology, and I got selected at Deloitte for the analyst role. And I was preparing from Deloitte since last year only, because this was my targeted company. And so I followed all those YouTube videos, and all process was really helpful. That all material available.
So both of you targeted for Deloitte USI only, and you both got it.
Yeah, like I was basically targeting consultancy.
Okay, yeah. So
And
yes,
if not,
Deloitte
then
is a
I
big...
was going to and if not, then other software development role.
Okay.
Yeah, even I was in like the same domain, but the main focus was on non-technical or technical with some interpersonal companies like Deloitte or ZS. And if not these companies, then I'll go for some good product companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the recruitment process then. So since both have different profiles, so both might be having different first round, that is online test. So we will go with Samiksha first and then Prabhat.
So first it arrived in our campus on the 30th August. We got mail from the Calix pod, and then on 6th August it was our online test. And in our online test, 3 sections were there: quant, logical, and aptitude. And questions were of moderate difficulty level. You can prepare it from any online sources available there. India Bix will be really helpful, and our college was conducting BTech Guru test. That was also really helpful. And there is enough time to solve questions. But if it's good if you are quick enough, because there are so many people applying over there, so they might be taking consideration. Time constraint might be there, so you should take care of time also. And it was quite easy. Only 3 sections were there, and you can crack it if you are preparing from aptitude from last 2 or 3 months only.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for my profile, that is the risk and financial advisory. So basically it was a profile of technology analyst. So I had around 7 sections in that round, which I was not expecting, to be honest, because most of the placement process of the Deloitte I saw, even for business technology analysts, they used to only have 3 rounds. After that, some subsequent rounds, but in our case, it was a bit different. So it started off with the 3 basic rounds that Samiksha just mentioned, that is the logical, verbal, and the quant. These 3 question sections were quite, I can say easy to moderate level. And the questions weren't new, to be honest, because if you have already solved the MCAT test that you give around, I guess, 2 or 3 months before your placements, if your college makes you to give those, then the questions were like, some of them I had already solved previously, and others were, a familiar pattern. So preparing for those kind of questions wouldn't be that hard. And the time constraint was decent enough. Like for quant and logical, I guess the time was good, like 1 minute and 15 seconds for each question, something like that. But when it came to verbal, I think we had less than 1 minute time given to each question, as far as I can remember. So make sure that you read your passages really quickly and answer very, smart, in a very smart way, because वहाँ पे time waste हो सकता है. And apart from these 3 rounds, I had 4 more rounds, which consisted of Java. First round was Java, then came the DBMS section, then HTML, CSS, and JavaScript section. And the last one was the basic programming section, where you got questions from C and C++. So like in my case, the round was like a bit difficult for me because I wasn't expecting questions from Java, because Java wasn't my main language in the college. And so yeah, वो थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हुआ था. And apart from that, like I answered on an average level, बहुत easy भी नहीं था, and it wasn't really hard. But yeah, after like giving the test, I felt like, okay, I may not get selected, because वो लगता है ना, after giving 7 rounds, you feel quite skeptical about yourself. यार 7 round था, पता नहीं कहाँ गलती कर दी. But yeah, after the results came out, I was quite satisfied.
You cannot predict your result if you are getting selected or not, because you don't know the criteria, how they are going to select. So you can't rely on the same company only. Yeah, and MCAT platform really helps a lot. So get familiar with it, and you cannot traverse back from the questions.
So for the technical profile, were there any coding questions as well, or everything was MCQ based, the different sections that you just mentioned?
Yeah, coding specifically, like writing code piece wasn't there, but in the MCQs itself, like for the Java section and the C++ section, you had various code snippets given to you. So there were predict the output questions, or predict the error questions, or replace this line of code with something else, that type of questions. And then 4 options were given to you for each of those questions. So it was like, you can call it on like a coding round, but wasn't technically coding.
Okay. So basically, for technical people, the aptitude was quite lengthy. You included everything: Java, SQL, HTML, and computing programming.
It was same as consulting. Like the initial 3 rounds were exactly similar to them, only the questions were different. And apart from that, we had 4 extra rounds.
Okay. So I think that's why they removed the jam factor from you guys, because last year they had a jam round, but this time it was not there. It was direct technical interview for you guys.
Yeah.
So we can discuss the technical interview then. Yes, again, Samiksha and then Prabhat.
So my interview was on at 11:30 a.m. only, and it started on time only. And interviewer was very friendly, very cooperative also. And the whole interview was a resume based. First, he asked, "Tell me about yourself. Go through your resume." And then I have added 3 internship and 3 projects in my interview in my resume. So he asked all about my resume. Extracurricular activities also matters a lot in my interview also. In my interview, and then he asked about some situational based questions and how do you manage your time and all. And don't get panic if you get disconnected in between, because I got disconnected several times, but he didn't mind it at all. Just listen to him that interview very carefully and answer the questions carefully, and show your confidence and and also have patience. That matters a lot. And only the confidence and your logic, how you think logically, and presence of mind matters a lot. And that's it. And communication skills. I would like to add that in my case, my whole interview was resume based, but some of my friends were asked about the computer programming, like C++ questions. Some of them were asked about Python questions. SQL, DBMS knowledge should be there.
In the
So
same,
even for the non-tech
Yeah.
Yeah,
but everything depends on the interviewer. Different students have different experience. So in my case, the whole interview was resume based, but some interviewers may ask questions about C++ programming, DBMS, SQL. Those questions might be there, so be prepared for that also. And OS and CN knowledge, the basic OS and CN knowledge should be there.
So since you were a IT student and your resume might include some of the coding part, so they might have asked you about the concert questions regarding CPP.
He asked me about the code I have included in my project only.
Okay.
And I was aware of that. And don't add anything which you're not aware about in your resume. You should be aware of each and every project. Don't fake in your resume. They can catch very quickly.
Yeah, that's the main point.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhat, now.
Yeah, what Samiksha said was like very true. Never add anything that's not in that you haven't done personally, or like if you want to cheat, then make sure कि सच्ची में project कर लो interview के पहले. Like if you do not have projects to show, then a week or 2 weeks before the interview, develop a project by yourself and then add it, or at least get the knowledge, because otherwise you won't be able to lie through the interview. Because I've heard cases from a couple of friends. And apart from that, yeah, the interview is very specific to the interviewer himself. It depends on his mood and all, because there's a good chance that they may not ask even one technical question, and there's a good chance that your entire interview is technical. So like my case was really weird because mine is a technology role, right? After giving 4 rounds of technical questions in the previous round, I was sitting here expecting, some high level questions on DBMS and all. But my interviewer was like, I was the second guy from my panel, and like she didn't ask me any technical questions, to be honest. Everything was resume based, about my internships, about my projects. And the only few technical questions that were asked were regarding the projects and the internships itself, like what kind of tools did you use in your project, or what kind of technology you used in your internship. And apart from that, there were many interpersonal questions. And like in the interview, I had mentioned that I'm a reasonable thinker. I can figure out reasonable solutions to problems. So she had asked me she asked me a question, situational question. She said that if I were to reject you today as a reasonable thinker, what would be your solution to the approach? So like a couple of months ago, I remember I read that in Deloitte, you can only apply after 6 months after your first attempt. So I told that to her that given that I'm really passionate about the company, I'll try for Deloitte again after a window of 6 months. So I think she was pretty impressed by that answer, and it really helped my way through the interview. And all the other questions were in a similar way. Like the flow was really good of my interview. She kept asking questions and I kept answering them. And so, yeah, apart from that, the interview didn't last very long. It was about 10 to 15 minutes. and it was all revolving around my what do you call it, resume. But one thing I'd like to mention is many of my friends, they did get many technical questions as well from the same interviewer. Like one friend was asked about indexing, someone was asked about DBMS and SQL, things that they have mentioned in their resume. So make sure that you are well versed with your technical knowledge as well, and you are good with the communication skills. Now that is absolutely important because एक बार के लिए technical अच्छा नहीं रहा तो भी चलेगा, but communication has to be on point.
और कंपनी के बारे में भी मतलब काफी जानकारी लेनी चाहिए, because when we were interacting, I have added some points which that the panelist told in PPT, like Deloitte was the best workplace for women. So I have added those points in my interview. So he was really impressed that I have really studied about that company. Get to know as many as things you know about that company. That shows you're really interested in that company.
So even in the pre-placement talk, they do include a lot of things, specific to Deloitte.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't
listen to PPT very carefully. It really makes an impact.
Okay.
They were asking some questions during PPT also, and they also said that if anyone is going to give good answer, we'll definitely consider it.
Yeah, so I guess he was managing director of one of the branches of Deloitte who was there in the PPT, and he said that I'm asking a question, and if someone gives me the right answer, then I'll give a call to him personally. Now I don't specifically remember the question, but no one answered the question actually. I mean, up to the point. So yeah, no one got that call.
I guess it was depend on like COVID situation, how the transportation something, it was like that. I also don't remember question.
No, so even in the pre-placement talk, like they do ask a lot of, they have these MCQs and polls that they do, right?
Yeah, MCQs, like how much you know about company and how many countries Deloitte is having their branch, like that.
Yeah. So it would be very helpful if people already, read about it, and then
actually they don't consider it as right or wrong, but they just want to know how much students are aware of that company.
Yeah, so like a couple of questions were like, in which of these cities Deloitte doesn't have a branch in India? Then another question was like, what is the share price of Deloitte? Now, as far as I can remember, in India, Deloitte doesn't have an IPO. So I wasn't really aware of it. What is the share price and all? But yeah, it wasn't considered in the process. So it's nice.
But it was quite interactive and friendly session, I must say.
So what I can summarize from both of you, that it completely depends on interviewer, what he will be asking and about your preparation and all.
Yeah. So some tips that I can say is, depending on the interview means that how you are able to land your first impression on the interview. So be dressed very formally, and advise wearing a tie, because like from a group of 10, I was the only one wearing a tie as far as I can remember. And like give a very good introduction, like keep it really crisp. If you land your first impression really well, the interviewer might be slightly inclined towards asking you lenient questions, and if you mess up your introduction and all, then interviewer might try to cope up with hard technical questions. They might try to test you on other grounds other than your communication and interaction with the superiors. So make sure your first impressions and your communication is really on point. That can really smoothen and liven up the process for you.
Yes, I would say same as Prabhat, and also extracurricular activities matters here. I think in Deloitte case, it matters a lot. So if you have done any such activities, tell them properly, because they are asking very deeply questions about you, in which organization you were working, from where do you got that reference and all. And he was really impressed by those things. Yeah. So, and be confident. And one more thing I would like to add, you cannot like just focus on one company, because you can, like as I said earlier, you cannot predict their recruitment process. So don't just target one company, be prepared for anything. You will definitely going to get placed in any some of the companies, but just don't rely on only one.
Okay, then thanks a lot for the great tips that you both provided. And thank you for coming and sharing your experience as well. With that, guys, it's a wrap. So Samiksha's and Prabhat's LinkedIn ID will be there in the description box below. You can feel free to reach out to them in case you have any queries regarding the recruitment process or if you need any guidance from them. And we'll be back next week with another placement interview experience for you on Friday. Till then, take care and prepare well. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having
Bye.
us.